Is it afternoon? No, it's still morning. Good morning, everyone. So today, Faith in the Valley is going to be partnering with and sharing some information with an amazing organization that we have the opportunity to partner with. But before we dive into that, my name is Toni McNeil. I'm a community organizer with Faith in the Valley in the San Joaquin County. And my co-facilitator and partner with this is Blanca. Blanca, will you introduce yourself?
Yes, good morning, everyone. I'm a community organizer with Faith in the Valley in Merced.
And today we are here with an organization that is called Legal Aid at Work. And so what I want to do is I want to give the opportunity for everyone to introduce themselves. So we're just going to do this popcorn style first. So I'm going to start with Jessica. If you could just introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, and just, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, go for it.
Yes, thank you. Hi, everyone. Jessica Barragan Carmona. My pronouns are she, her. And my title with Legal Aid at Work is community organizer. So I help particularly with the Central Valley project that we'll dive in a little bit deeper about what that project is. But my main role is really helping bridge legal services and information and education to community partners and to Central Valley workers, all the way from San Joaquin County to Kern County. I am a proud DACA recipient, very proud immigrant, and I am very excited to be servicing and helping people that are like me, and I'm very happy to be part of this really awesome team. And I'm actually video chatting you from Stockton, so I'm a very proud Stocktonian. And I'll pass it on to Nora.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nora Cassidy. I use she, her pronouns. I'm an attorney at Legal Aid at Work, a proud member of our Gender Equity and LGBTQ Rights program, and even more proud resident of Modesto, which is where I am video chatting from today. And so excited to be working with Jessica and Elizabeth on our Central Valley Workers' Rights project, having grown up here, and my experiences growing up here are very much what inspired me to go to law school, to want to do workers' rights advocacy. And so I'm just beyond thrilled that I have the opportunity to actually bring those skills back to this area that inspired me to get them in the first place. So I will pass it to Elizabeth.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Toni and Blanca and Faith in the Valley, for hosting us. This is really wonderful to be with you. I'm Elizabeth Kristen. I use she, her pronouns. I direct our Gender Equity and LGBTQ Rights program at Legal Aid at Work. I've been at this nonprofit for almost 20 years. And one thing I love about our organization is that we provide a mix of services. We really try to help people where they are. Some people just need advice and information, and they can handle things on their own. And then some people need more help to assert their rights in the workplace. I am a proud member of the LGBT community and also a proud resident of the Sonoma Valley, which Jess and Nora have dubbed Central Valley enough to keep me on this project. So I am really happy to be with you virtually in the Central Valley. Thank you so much for having us.
So I don't know, when was it, Jessica? It was a couple of months ago. So first of all, let me say this. I've known Jessica for some years.
Yeah.
So this girl is a firecracker, like dynamic for sure. So when I met Jessica, it was, I had just started organizing like 4 or 5 years ago. I just came on the Faith in the Valley. And so I was like, trying to build out and brand who Faith in the Valley was. We had just, came from being packed, right? You remember Jessica?
Yes.
More Tom Amata, he had like recruited me in and stuff, and I was a volunteer. So now we're like merging and all of this stuff. And then I meet Jessica and some other leaders that were working doing immigration work. I didn't know squat. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing about the immigration work. I didn't know anything about DACA. I didn't know anything about ICE. I didn't know anything about detention centers. I didn't even know that there was one in San Joaquin County. I learned so much just building relationship with Jessica in regard to just some of the community issues and stuff. I mean, it was like there were so many things that I was exposed to. And so that relationship was amazing. And this girl was like, tear it all down. This girl was fire.
Yes.
Fire. She had me out there protesting demonstrations. I don't know, just you remember at the detention center here in San Joaquin.
Yes. And I think going to that point of relationships are really important in the Central Valley. Because there's such a high need and there's like smaller circles that really are servicing the needs and also advocating and organizing. I think it's very special to kind of see everybody, know everybody. So I know Elder Tony and I were talking about a leader who unfortunately recently passed away, who we both know. So it's like very heartbreaking, but also very special to know that we're all connected. And I think that's what the Central Valley really provides, is that inner web of relationship, because we're separated by miles, but not by population. So I know that has been really special.
Yeah. And so, yeah, just in that, even just wanting to take a moment for with you, Jessica, mentioning that, just honoring Rosalind Burse. She was an absolutely amazing community organizer. She was known and loved by everybody in the San Joaquin County, in Stockton in particular. And so you can't say her name in any type of an organizing entity within San Joaquin County without them knowing who she was, knowing her voice. I can still hear her voice, see her smile, oh my God. And so we miss her. And she was so loved, so well loved by so many. So yeah, just wanted to take a moment just to honor her and remember her in the work that we're doing here. Yeah. So today we want to lift up the need for legal aid throughout the Central Valley. We want to lift it up. Faith in the Valley works directly with a lot of folks. Blanca, I know that you've worked directly too, right? With individuals that are undocumented, migrant farm workers, different. Do you know that a lot of people that would need assistance with legal aid and knowing what their rights are when it comes to working?
Absolutely. I think some of the people that as I was sharing that we're going to have this event with some of the folks already that I work with, people already had like questions, so they were sharing some of their experiences at work. They were sharing, not really knowing like up to, how much they're protected or what they can do. So just knowing like the boundaries of like what they can do. And also I think a lot of the times, there's not enough, like, I guess, legal organizations that they feel they can reach out to, and trusting organizations is really important. And so I think this event is going to be really important for them.
I also wanted to lift up, we're gonna find out what legal aid to work is. I also want to lift up, just as a precursor to that in this work, we realize that, and this isn't just undocumented, this is for all that need it, those that are marginalized in different areas. We wanted to also raise awareness, though, for those that are undocumented, that there are not a lot of resources that they can access when it comes to knowing what their rights are, knowing, when it comes to workers' rights or any of those rights. And so this is an organization that is so needed and so necessary, specifically throughout the Central Valley, where we have a very, very strong and diverse demographic of individuals that are very marginalized and need to know how to access assistance when it comes to their rights. So that being said, what is legal aid to work? What is it?
I can start. So Legal Aid at Work we're a nonprofit legal services organization. And so what that actually means is that we provide free legal help to low-wage workers across California. Legal Aid at Work it's actually the oldest legal aid organization west of the Mississippi. It's been around for over 100 years and doing specifically employment law for over 50 years now. And we're based in San Francisco, but we have long served folks all across the state when they have issues with discrimination, harassment, wage theft, getting leave to take care of themselves or a loved one. And so we provide education and outreach. We provide legal advice. We have a network of 14 clinics across the state where people can make an appointment and just talk with an attorney about what's going on and know what their rights are and what their resources are. We have several helplines for people that they can call. And then sometimes that's enough. Sometimes it has to be more. And so we represent folks in front of the various administrative agencies where you can file a claim for lost wages, or you can file a claim because you're being harassed. We represent people in court where, we have to file a lawsuit against their employer because of what's been going on. And then we also take what we've learned from our clients, from those helplines, from those clinics, from the representation, and then we lobby in state and federal governments to get the laws changed to help our clients and make sure that the systems are actually working for them. And this is something we do across California and have been doing, but we're now I'm excited to say we're being more purposeful about really targeting folks who need our services in the Central Valley. But Elizabeth, just please step in if I.
Yeah.
Well, can I ask the question really quick, Nora? So do you see, first of all, do you guys, is this something that is highly utilized or, needed in the other regions throughout the state? Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I would say so. I am helping since we have 7 programs, I actually volunteer with the Work and Family program, and they get a lot of calls a day, and a lot of them are from the Bay Area, all parts of California, because their helpline is particularly also answering questions around COVID-19. So I know that there has been such a surplus where that program has had to reach out and said, hey, we're getting so many calls. So I know the need right now with COVID-19 has been great, but I wouldn't know about other programs, but I would say the need is really big.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, our clinics serve over 3,000 people a year in a normal year. I think there's thousands more following March of 2020 when things shut down and workers' rights really came to the forefront of so many people's minds. But yeah, absolutely. It's a need in the Bay Area. It's a need in Los Angeles, Central Coast. We just opened up a new clinic down in Ontario. We already had a clinic in San Bernardino. And so the need is huge in the Inland Empire too, where you have a lot of folks who are it's a sort of similar demographics really to the Central Valley and a similar lack of resources. But I know Elizabeth has also represented clients up and down the state and even outside the state.
Yeah, one thing I would want to add, and I'm so glad you highlighted this question of helping our undocumented community members, is that our organization is able to help folks who are undocumented. And I know a lot of legal services organizations can't do that. So it's really been important that we don't have that restriction of being able to, any limitations on being able to help undocumented folks. Now, undocumented folks are in general entitled to all the same legal rights and protections of the employment laws. There's a few minor exceptions. But I think we all know this is a population that's especially vulnerable to exploitation and abuse, especially by workers who think folks don't know their rights or they're going to be too afraid to come forward. That's real. I don't want to minimize that people are afraid, but there are legal protections against retaliation. And I just wanted to lift up some of my clients. I mean, what I find, especially with our immigrant women clients who are undocumented, is that I'll often experience multiple forms of discrimination at work. You know, they'll call me because they're not getting paid properly, but then they become pregnant and they're not getting the accommodations they need at work. And then maybe they're sexually harassed and they try to complain about it and they lose their job. So there's these multiple issues that come up for our clients. And so that's part of why I like our organization, because we have all these different program focuses, and we want to try and help people with all their employment issues. And so even though our focus is gender equity and LGBTQ rights, we're able to help people with unemployment benefits or wage and hour issues, or other kinds of questions that they might have.
So then you said, so you're saying there are different, what I'm hearing, it sounds like, is that there are different, for us, we'd call them campaigns or projects or what have you. And so how many maybe different campaigns that you guys have, buckets that you guys have that you serve for legal aid at work?
We technically have 7 of these program areas. You know, so for example, we have a disability rights program, we have a racial and economic justice program, national origin and immigrant rights, community legal services, a wage protection program, gender equity and LGBTQ rights, and then we have our workers' rights clinics. But I mean, as you know, people don't just fall within one campaign. You know, people come to us with their issues and we try to address the issues holistically, even though our particular focus is gender equity and LGBTQ rights, which of course, just in and of itself covers a huge range of issues. And Jess already mentioned our work and family program that addresses a lot of issues around pregnancy, caregiving leave, COVID accommodations, taking care of people who might be sick, you know, all of those issues that might come up.
Wow.
Yes. And I wonder if Elizabeth can share a little bit about our program that we're under, because I know there's a lot of cross sections between the clients we're trying to serve and prioritize in the Valley.
Yeah, I mean, our program is really basing its priorities on the clients that come to us. And so in the Me Too era, sexual harassment has been a huge issue. It's been an issue before it came to the forefront with Me Too, and it's remained a major issue. And it's, of course, an issue for women in the Central Valley. It's not only women who are subjected to sexual harassment, but it's a huge issue and it's a huge problem. And one of the many tragedies of the COVID-19 times is that we stopped getting a lot of calls around the sexual harassment in the workplace issues. And I think it's either because people lost their jobs or because if they had a job, they were even more afraid to report sexual harassment. So sexual harassment has been a huge focus, combating that, trying to advise people about that. We also focus on LGBTQ rights, and some of the main issues that we're seeing in the Central Valley and elsewhere are our transgender workers who are being discriminated against and harassed at work, both not being called the right name and pronouns, but also, you know, inappropriate touching, inappropriate, you know, questions about their transition and related care. And those folks feel really isolated. And so that's been a real focus for our project and our program. We're also focused on serving our military veterans, especially those from the LGBT community, especially those who maybe have experienced military sexual trauma. We're helping them with workplace issues they might have, but also with trying to get discharges upgraded. If, for example, they were discharged, under old policies from the military for being gay, maybe they don't have an honorable discharge and they're being denied benefits that they're entitled to. So our project is broad and has a broad focus and scope, but we always try to keep our clients at the center and really try to prioritize the issues that we're hearing about on the ground from the people who need us the most.
Wow. And so what about the project that you work on, Jessica? What are some of the things that you guys, focus on there?
Yes, I'm so glad that question was brought up because I'm very excited. So we are part of the Gender LGBTQ program, but even under that program is the Central Valley Worker Rights Project. So we really care about intersectionality and understand that half of the population in the Central Valley is women. We also know that there's less services around example, servicing clients who may be undocumented, women, and or have LGBTQ issues. So I know we're really trying to bring that gender and LGBTQ equity lens to some of our work that we're to the Central Valley Workers Project. So I know we're really being intentional about building power when it comes to collaborating with other organizations, being intentional of reaching out to centers or organizations that service those target areas. And under that, I did want to highlight that because COVID-19 created such a disturbance with undocumented Central Valley workers, I know that has been a really big push of why we are in the Central Valley. But again, our Central Valley project is servicing from San Joaquin County to Kern County. So our helpline is available to workers who have any questions, again, around legal issues, conditions in the workplace. They want to talk to somebody around what is happening with COVID-19. And some of the things I've been able to research around, even the census findings, the population in the San Joaquin Valley has a total of about 4 million people in 2020, which makes it larger than any major urban area such as like Chicago, Houston. So being in the Central Valley is very important and very necessary. And even understanding that undocumented workers did not get federal stimulus. So even keeping their jobs is going to be major and very important, right? To help avoid families lose their homes. So I know that has been a major component of our project as well, to really service renters or folks who really need their jobs for not only income, but also maybe other resources like benefits or healthcare. So I know that has been another reason why we're in the Central Valley. And again, we know the Central Valley has greater disadvantages than other parts of California. So I know statistically, 43% of Central Valley residents have less than high school education. So they're not high school graduates. We also know there's like a 9% pre-pandemic unemployment. We also know 40% of Central Valley residents households are living below a living wage. So that has also been a priority of how do we help and prioritize all low wage workers when it comes to our helpline, our callers. We also know that 17% of households are on food stamps. So it's very important to understand a lot of the services that were just a component of what workers are receiving. So being very intentional about how do we complement that and understand that with just even how we're servicing or providing different materials. So I know one of our major priorities is we don't just want to create fact sheets for Central Valley workers. We really want to be intentional about like, what are people learning? How are they feeling empowered through some of our material? So I know we're being very intentional in our team to provide information and people services. And even working with organizations who do prioritize Indigenous communities, who don't just work with Spanish speakers or English speakers, but really trying to learn ourselves on how to service clients that we don't regularly serve. So I know that has been a major priority. Right. And understanding that 42% of Central Valley immigrants are naturalized, but then they do have a mixed status family, right? So there's a major component that are undocumented. And even some of our callers, there's so much trust that needs to be built. There's so many callers who call and say, hey, can give you my information, but I do have a concern about my work safety. So I know it's been very helpful to say, here is who we are. Here's what your rights are. Here's some information around what California is saying, especially around COVID-19. A lot of callers have called and said, hey, I'm not provided any safety equipment when it comes to COVID-19 in my workplace. So I know Nora has done an awesome job of research, like state laws, like what are the safety regulations when it comes to COVID-19? That has been very empowering to provide workers.
So I have what I wanted to do. I want to make space for something, if you all don't mind. Blanca, we've covered, I think, a lot of content. If you can come off of mute. And so what I wanted to do is I want to make space for Blanca to transition us into Spanish, because there are people that are watching and will need this information. And so Blanca, if you can just kind of, just lift up, what it is that we're talking about, and however you want to engage with Jessica or with Nora in Spanish. I'm going to step back and allow you to lead that, if that's okay. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Entonces, primero que nada, queremos presentar la organización que se llama Legal Aid at Work, ¿verdad? Que es una organización que está aquí en el Valle Central y tienen clientes por todo la área de California. Una de las razones por la cual Fe en el Valle ha decidido tomar esta como alianza con esa organización es porque nosotros como organizadores de la comunidad, ¿verdad? Escuchamos muchas de las historias que están viviendo aquí nuestra comunidad. Nuestra comunidad, yo específicamente, que trabajo con la comunidad indocumentada, inmigrante aquí en el Valle Central, muchos de ellos que son trabajadores, ¿verdad? Agrícolas. Yo me he dado cuenta que hay mucho que conocer cuando se trata de nuestros derechos. Muchos de nosotros no sabemos cuáles son. Y yo no soy la experta en ley, entonces hemos traído hoy a la organización que sí lo es, ¿verdad? Porque ellos también han escuchado algunas de estas historias y tienen los recursos para poder ayudar a las familias, ¿verdad? A los trabajadores. Entonces, si puedo, Jessica, you speak Spanish? Or?
Sí, yo y Nora hablamos español y tal vez podemos hablar los puntos, y si gustarían hacer preguntas en español, también eso funciona. Sí quería agregar, nuestra organización Ayuda Legal Laboral, Legal Aid at Work, se está enfocando en asistir y dar recursos, información y consejos a todos los trabajadores indocumentados, específicamente porque sabemos que la comunidad indocumentada no está recibiendo servicios de pagos extras del gobierno, como sabemos que se dieron asistencia financiera el año pasado federalmente a las familias que calificaron con el stimulus package. Sabemos que también en California estamos tratando que el gobernador esté pasando más recursos, pero también existen más recursos y derechos que la comunidad inmigrante no está recibiendo, aunque sí califican, como discapacidad, aseguranza estatal, pago de familia. Entonces sabemos si alguien está embarazada o tiene que cuidar a una familia que está enfermo, son recursos que la comunidad indocumentada sí califica. Entonces es una razón más por qué nos deben de llamar y poder pasar toda esta información si se sienten cómodos recibir esos servicios. Y no sé, Nora, si gustarías platicar un poquito más de cómo estamos dando los servicios a la comunidad indocumentada o inmigrante.
Claro que sí. Pues como Jessica ya mencionó, tenemos esta línea de ayuda de los derechos de trabajadores y contestamos en una manera bilingüe en inglés y español, y estamos dispuestos a discutir qué está pasando y qué son sus derechos legales y también sus recursos disponibles. Y si tenemos capacidad, también ayudamos como a hacer representación con las agencias administrativas, donde puede hacer una queja en contra de su empleador, por ejemplo, por discriminación o acoso o represalias o robo de sueldo, cosas así. También vamos al corte por los trabajadores a veces, si es necesario. Y también trabajamos con el Estado de California y el gobierno federal para cambiar las leyes para que apoyen y ayuden los trabajadores con bajos ingresos. Así que estoy en Modesto, Jessica está en Stockton y estamos aquí en particular para ayudar a los trabajadores en el Valle Central, porque es nuestra comunidad, nos importa mucho y queremos estar aquí con ustedes.
Sí, y me gustaría agregar también que sabemos que la comunidad inmigrante es 10% de la población de los trabajadores de California, entonces sabemos que todos en nuestras familias trabajan, tal vez han perdido el trabajo por todo lo que está pasando con COVID-19. Si aparte de perder el trabajo también no hay recursos disponibles, entonces es muy importante saber cuáles son los derechos que especialmente en un trabajo tal vez que no nos sentamos cómodos o suficientes saludables para hacer nuestros trabajos. Todas las preguntas que tengan pueden llamarnos y usualmente es Nora o yo que contestamos, entonces nos van a volver a escuchar y poder hablar. Entonces los invitamos a que cualquier pregunta que tengan, si no saben si les están pagando su talón de cheque correctamente, no saben sus derechos, si tienen que cuidar a un familiar que tal vez esté enfermo, si gustarían saber, tal vez averiguar cuáles son sus específicamente derechos con COVID-19 o cualquier otra pregunta, sí podemos asistir. Entonces los invitamos mucho a que nos den una llamada o también visitar nuestra página en el internet si gustarían aprender un poquito más de nuestro programa también.
Gracias. Gracias a las dos por compartir un poquito de esto y sé que en nuestra porción también, para tratar de cubrir lo mismo que se mencionó en nuestra porción en inglés, que hay ciertas ayudas, ¿verdad? Específicas, o sea, se enfocan en poblaciones específicas. ¿Pueden mencionar un poquito de esas también?
Claro que sí, tenemos muchos programas en nuestra organización para estar seguro que estamos ayudando a todos con cada problema en el lugar de trabajo. Así que nuestro programa enfoca en la equidad de género y los derechos de los trabajadores LGBTQ. Además de eso, tenemos programas que enfocan en los derechos de las personas con discapacidades, los derechos de trabajadores con familias o trabajadoras embarazadas. También tenemos un programa que se llama Los derechos de cerca de origen nacional y los derechos de inmigrantes. Vamos a ver, la protección de sueldo, que enfoque como como sueldo mínimo, overtime, breaks, almuerzo, cada cosa así. Que estoy olvidando por lo menos un programa.
Las clínicas que tenemos de todo el protección de salarios.
Sí, y de equidad racial, de raza, por ejemplo, con las, sí, es de justicia basado en su raza también.
Uh-huh.
Y solo para compartir un poquito, como qué tan ocupados se ponen ustedes, y dónde usualmente representan a la gente, como en qué área de California, o qué los ha traído al Valle.
Ya, ahorita nuestro tipo, tipo cliente de llamada, usualmente las personas están llamando para hacer una pregunta, para preguntar si es correcto o con la ley, si en una situación del trabajo. Hay pocos clientes que necesitan representación o un poquito más de ayuda, diciendo, necesito un tipo de asistencia en mi trabajo, entonces tal vez nuestra representación es un poquito más, aparte de una llamada. Entonces, cada cliente es diferente, pero sí sé que en el Valle Central esto es nuestra prioridad con nuestro proyecto porque hay mucho trabajo que hacer. Sabemos, ejemplo, yo trabajo en nuestro proyecto del Valle Central, pero también soy voluntaria con nuestro programa de familia de los trabajadores y familia. Y usualmente las personas que llaman esa línea de programa de familia y trabajadores tienen una pregunta, y los llamadores de nuestra línea de ayuda del Valle Central usualmente tienen más de una pregunta. Entonces sí sé que la necesidad es muy grande, y usualmente los llamadores y los clientes del Valle Central, sus problemas no es nada más, oh, quiero un recurso de esto, pero usualmente tienen muchos niveles de problemas en el trabajo, entonces sí sé que la necesidad es muy diferente donde vivimos, Nora y yo. Entonces, muy importante estar aquí presente para todas las preguntas que necesiten contestadas los trabajadores. Y sí sé que en el Valle Central mitad de la población es mujer, entonces nuestro programa de género y LGBTQ cubre esta población que se necesitan muchísimos recursos. También sé que nuestro proyecto quiere no nada más dar recursos a los trabajadores, pero también darle tanta información y tanto apoyo donde se sienta ese cliente muy con mucho poder para hacer todas las decisiones mejores para ese trabajador y sus familiares. Entonces, sí, queremos también seguir esa conversación con los trabajadores y decirles, ahora que tienes toda la información, ¿cómo podemos ayudar para que puedas hacer las mejores decisiones para ti y tu familia? Entonces, sí sé que eso va a ser, es parte de nuestra misión, de nuestro proyecto, y nos encantaría que los trabajadores se sientan con muchísimo poder para hacer esas decisiones.
Sí, estoy completamente de acuerdo y quiero mencionar que ahora en nuestra línea de ayuda es más o menos mitad hispanohablante, mitad de personas quienes hablan inglés, pero a la misma vez también ofrecimos servicios en otros idiomas. Y ofrecimos ayuda en lenguas indígenas, además de, por ejemplo, Punjabi o otros idiomas también. Usamos intérpretes y todavía es confidencial, todavía es gratis y solo queremos que los llamadores se sienten cómoda y segura que ellos pueden explicar qué está pasando en la manera más fácil y más segura para ellos.
Sí, y se nos olvidó decir, y lo digo en inglés también, que todos los servicios son gratuitos, entonces no se cobra nada a ningún cliente, ningún llamador. And really quickly in English, all of our services are free. We never charge you for anything. Our calls are free. All your questions are free. So everything's free.
Wow.
Eso es importante. Muchas gracias. Ahora, es muy importante porque me pongo a pensar muchas de las necesidades. Yo sé que mencionamos algunas de ellas, ¿verdad? Pero nuestra población aquí, trabajando los trabajos que ellos trabajan, usualmente los sueldos son bajos. Entonces, qué bueno es poder tener una organización que ya que trae ese tipo de confianza, ¿verdad? Y esa accesibilidad, porque esa es otra cosa. ¿Qué accesibilidad tiene nuestra población a estos tipos de recursos? Muchas gracias.
Claro.
So we're going to be toggling back and forth throughout the course of this in English and in Espanol in order to ensure, that that people can access it and that we can reach, as many folks as we can. And as they shared, you've got different languages that people are going to be able to access the information in order to get services that they need. And so we really, really want to lift this resource up to our base in our community in a very, very big way, because this is so necessary in such a profound way. And so as we're wrapping up this particular conversation, this was just an introduction to Legal Aid at Work. Faith in the Valley wants to make sure that those that we work with, our leaders throughout the Central Valley, San Joaquin, Stanislaus, Merced, Fresno, and Kern, we want to make sure that you all know we're listening, that we're leaned in, that we know, that you need this resource. And so when we come in contact with resources such as this, what we're trying to do is put that content out there and that information out there for you in order to access it. What we are going to do in order to really, really just dive deeper into the rich information and the rich resources that is offered here through Legal Aid at Work, over the next 4 months, we are going to highlight one of the programs that they focus on. And so, Blanca, can you say that part in Spanish?
Yes. Entonces, como hemos formado estos espacios, ¿verdad? Virtualmente, donde vamos a darle la información a la comunidad por lo que escuchamos que se necesita, hemos creado una plataforma aquí donde nos vamos a juntar por los próximos 4 meses, donde vamos a dar información aún más específica en ciertas áreas o necesidades, ¿verdad? De los servicios que brinde Legal Aid at Work.
So the next, we're going to highlight every month on the 4th, what is it, Blanca? Friday. 4th Friday of every month. This month included. So we are going to be in this space. This month in particular, it's going to be on what date?
On the 27th.
Go ahead.
Entonces, este mes vamos a comenzar estos servicios, ¿verdad? Virtualmente, empezando este mes. Y va a ser por los últimos 4 meses, cada viernes. Entonces, nuestra si se puede decir como taller, va a ser este 27, viernes 27, a esta misma hora, at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And what we're going to do on the 27th, we will be talking about specifically what area did we lift up? Nora or Jessica? Do you guys remember?
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about discrimination and harassment, specifically gender-based and race-based discrimination and harassment and sexual harassment, and then also equal pay, because that's shockingly enough, still a huge issue that women are being paid significantly less than men, and then women of color are being paid even less than white men, and LGBTQ workers are being paid less than straight workers. And so we are going to focus on how to figure out if your pay is equal to your counterparts, and what to do about it.
Entonces, I'm going to go ahead and translate. Para el día 27 vamos a tener nuestra, si se puede decir, como primer sesión, ¿verdad? Y de lo que se va a tratar es que vamos a hablar sobre la discriminación y el acoso en el trabajo, porque nos damos cuenta que es un problema muy grande, que las mujeres usualmente se les paga mucho menos dentro del trabajo. Inclusive también nuestra comunidad LGBT se les paga aún menos que la comunidad que no son, ¿verdad? Entonces son problemas reales en la comunidad y vamos a hablar un poquito sobre esos derechos que uno tiene y cómo poder comparar cómo es que nos están pagando, ¿verdad? Cómo es que les pagan para poder ver esa diferencia.
And then each month we're featuring one discussion. And so the following month in September, we will be talking about LGBTQ rights. In October, in honor of Domestic Violence Month, we will talk about rights for domestic violence survivors. And then in the month of November, it'll be our final discussion where we are going to specifically talk about undocumented worker rights.
Entonces, a continuación de eso, la próxima sesión será el septiembre 24, donde vamos a hablar sobre la comunidad LGBT y la equidad que debe de existir en el trabajo. En octubre, vamos a hablar sobre los derechos de los sobrevivientes de violencia doméstica y qué derechos tienen ellos en el trabajo también. Y después de ahí, en noviembre, que viene siendo noviembre 19, para que lo pongan en su calendario, también vamos a hablar sobre los derechos de la comunidad indocumentada.
So what I want to do is to make sure I'm going to go back and I'm going to list now the information, the contact. If you, for any reason whatsoever, need to reach out to this organization, we want to make sure that you know what the hotline is. We've already dropped the Legal Aid to Work hotline, Legal Aid at Work hotline in the chat. I'm just lifting it up one more time so that you will be able to access that information.
Entonces, abajo aquí pueden ver el número donde llamar. Si usted tiene preguntas y quiere saber más, quiere ponerse en contacto con la organización, ¿verdad? O ocupar los recursos, esa es la línea donde puede llamar.
So ladies, we thank you. Faith in the Valley thanks you for joining us in this space, and thank you for the work that you are doing and the service, the outstanding service that you all are providing for the Central Valley and other cities throughout the state. And we look forward to actually, just diving in deeper to some of the things. And so this month we'll have we're going to have some other guests that are going to be joining us in order to lift up some stories around discrimination. And we are going to be talking about, just the equal pay, equal work, equal pay. We had a campaign that we just pushed with Camille Zapata in the San Joaquin County surrounding this very, very topic. So we're going to bring some folks in order to lift up just that narrative, and then you all can just share with us what some of the rights are in that space. So I wanted to just really thank you and appreciate you for your time. Was there any last thing that you guys wanted to lift up or say before we come out of a live space?
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you for the space. Thank you for allowing us to share with your community about the services that we offer. It doesn't mean a lot for us to have these services if folks don't know about it, if folks don't know that they have, so many rights in the workplace, but, sometimes that you have to advocate for them. And that's what we're here for and eager to help with. And so just thank you so much for giving us this platform to get the word out to folks.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us into this space, and we look forward to our future conversations.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
you have access, you all, to some free legal services that are free. You have free access to free. We can't say it enough, right? Free. How do you say free in Español?
Gratis.
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 Ya tienen acceso a servicios gratis. Aquí estamos para que los conozcan, la comunidad se familiarice y sepa que mencionó, creo que Jessica mencionó, ¿verdad? No sirve de nada tener estos servicios si no es que se están ocupando. Entonces, aquí están esos servicios y además son gratis.
So please share this live, share it with your friends and families, share this information. If you know anyone that needs this information, make sure that you share it. And we will be sending out, another link that you can share as well in order to make this easily accessible to you and to the community. So we appreciate you guys for tapping in. Make sure that you share this information. Remember, Legal Aid at Work. Just look into the thing. You can go to them on the website. They have a Facebook page, Legal Aid at Work. There's a hotline that is in the chat. We've given you just any way that you can access these individuals to get the resources that you need. And tap in again. We will be back with you Friday, August the 27th at 12 p.m., where we will be talking about discrimination in the workplace and equal pay. So I look forward to seeing you then, and we will talk to you soon. Peace.
Thanks.